Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play The Sims 4 City Living Part 45. The finale. The end. Bless. Last time, um, it was a big thing. Madison, her kind of insanity and her need for revenge and vindication, it came to a climax, and I'll say there were no casualties, thank God. That's thanks to Claire. Claire was able to stop Madison. She was able to convince her that her life was worth more than this revenge. And in the end of the episode, Madison, Claire, and Luna all went to the police station to get Madison to confess. Like, the Penelope thing, the Akira thing, and here we are 1 year later, and Madison, because she was insane, she was deemed like she was sentenced to her sentence in a mental institution for the insane. Like she was like unfit to stand trial or whatever. So now she's in the insane asylum that Dina Caliente runs, and there are more people in the insane asylum and a familiar face if you we'll save that for later. But here we are 1 year later, and Claire has gotten custody of Addison, and Luna is ready. Luna, she is about to get her job at the doctor career. And during this year, Claire and Luna both decided that the city, it was just too much. Everything awful that had happened. Akira, Madison, Aaron, like all these horrid things that had happened to them. And it was all in the city, and the city, it was just full of memories and darkness, and it was just this negative aspect, and it just followed them around like a dark cloud. And so about 6 months ago, these three, they moved into this house in Newcrest. It's in this little subdivision thing, right next to the yoga studio, Starbucks. There's a house, I think it's empty. Yeah, there's a house that's empty right there, but they moved into this house and just to get away from it all. And first, let's like look around. So I think it's very pretty. I did not build this, but you walk in and there's this entryway, and then there's this picture of Madison, and I think that's Charlotte. And then this is like Claire's kind of office, because she's still a critic, you know. She's level 9. I should have promoted her to level 10. Hold on, I'm gonna do that. Careers dot promote critic. Does that work? No. Okay, I don't know how to do this. Oh. Careers dot promote art critic. Okay, maybe it's arts. Does that work? No. Well, we tried. Pretend she's level 10. Because I should have done that, but I can't remember the cheat, if we're being honest. But yeah, here's her office. Pictures of her and Madison, all the posters, you know. It's just Claire's office. And then we go through here, and then we have our dining room, we have our kitchen, and we have our living room with all the snow globes. And then you go out through here, and then we have a garage if we were to ever get a car. And then we have Claire's pictures that she doesn't want to look at every day. And then we have that elephant painting that we've always had since like Charlotte. But yeah. And then we have Madison's tapestry. And then in here we have Claire's room. And it's got like all of her paintings, her blue theme. We've got her bathroom, her wardrobe, and then she's got this little vanity thing, and it's got the rose that was on Madison's, the stuffed animal Madison always had, the City Bridge snow globe, and her pictures of her and Madison, and then Madison's picture of, like, Bella Goth. And it's kind of, I don't want to say like a shrine, but like it just keeps Madison's memory alive. Because even though Madison is not dead, she's gone, but she is far from forgotten. Because like these little specks of her appear all over this house. Like this picture, the tapestry, this. Like it's just these little specks that were really iconic of Madison. And her, like her character. Like she did all these snow globes. She always had this tapestry. But then you go upstairs, and there's this picture that I'm pretty sure... Oh, never mind, Claire took this. Well, there it is. And then there's this dollhouse, the Winslow dollhouse, actually. Yep, and then we have Claire's keyboard, Claire's microphone, like a second... Is there not a living room downstairs? There's not. Wait, yes there is. So we have 2 living rooms. Fancy us. But you go over here, and here is a bathroom. And then here is little Addison's room, and it's a lot warmer than her last room was. Her last room was just, oh, a girl room with all this black and white furniture, you know? It was very Madison-esque. It was like, Madison, she kind of saw the world in black and white at that point, and I feel that was just kind of how she put everything. It was black and white. But she did keep these little toys that she had, her iPad, her Ruff. It's like her little stuffed animal. She's very attached to it. It's Ruff. And then here's her birth certificate. And then over here, we have Luna's room. And Luna, she has her picture of her and Blair, her little Void Critter card, the paintings we've always had. And then we have her desk, her medieval school project, and her journal. And yeah. And then out here, we have some yoga mats. We have Claire's easel. And then downstairs, outside, we just have, like, this pool, you know, it's, like, lovely and suburban, and, you know, good for them, like, let's be honest, they deserve it at this point. And so, yeah. And as for their skills, I think Claire has mastered painting and singing. Luna hasn't mastered anything, but, you know, she's doing her best. So, Luna... Actually, instead of writing in your journal, I'm going to have you find a job. We're not going to go to work with Luna, obviously, but, like, it's just, like, setting up, you know. Life has, you know, it's on the up and up for these 3. So, doctor, she'd start as a medical assistant, and she starts working 14 hours. That is lovely. Let's look at their relationships. Has anything changed? I don't think anything has really changed. She's together with Mason. He is a doctor, apparently. She's still... I feel like she doesn't see Madison a lot, but her ride or die with Madison is still strong. And then these 2. She's really close to Addison. And she's still dating Yusuf. Blair is still probably her best friend. She's really close to Charlotte. Yeah. So, hold on. What else do we need to do? Is there anything else I need to do with these 3? Not really. I kind of want to jump around in this episode. We're not really going to have any big party or anything like we do in a lot of the other ones. It usually ends on like a wedding or a house party or whatever. But this is more like a reflection of like everybody's lives. So... yeah, so we can leave. Bless those 3. We'll probably come back to end on them. Or we might end on Madison, who knows. Actually, we probably won't come back. We'll start with Claire and end with Madison. So, Claire, she struggled with her love life quite a bit. She struggled a lot, but I feel like she honestly really did flourish. Like, this girl, like, even though she didn't have, like, a lot of the main drama didn't happen to her, I feel like... you know, she left a man at the altar. She stood up to Navia Chase, you know. She's dating a doctor. Like, you know, Claire has done pretty good for herself. Even though she didn't get married, she didn't have children. She did pretty good for herself. And then Luna's too good for this world. She wants to help people, and she's such a good person. And, you know, it takes a lot to push Luna. And then Addison, I don't really know Addison a lot because she was born so late into the LP and she really, well, from a story perspective, she was in fact planned, but like from like a how it fit into their lives, she didn't really ever have a place in their lives until now, and she doing her best. Let's just look around. Yosef, Billy, and Blair all live in this apartment. It's like a year later. Things have changed. Justice Livingston still lives here. Navia Chase lives here, but, they split off. And her child has aged up. Marissa Chase, she is an artistic prodigy and an insider. And Agita's still kicking. That warms my heart. And then the Behitas, they moved back in here. And then Penny and Miko, they're together now. Penny and Miko, they're together. And they live in the Akira's old apartment. And then Darling lives here. And then Chase Nash is actually dating Navia Chase. And he is a police cadet. And yeah, him and Navia Chase, they're dating. So, like, good for them. They're dating. He's kind of like on the straight and narrow now. She's calmed herself down. And Bradley Vinali, he aged up. And then these two, they're married. So, good for them, So, who's next? The Daniels, they're still in a lovely, happy marriage, and their daughter aged up. And then Olivia Kim Lewis, she actually broke up with Blake because, she didn't want to cause a scandal, she's much younger than him, and, they just went their separate ways. And then the Jangs, they're still there. The Vanderwoodsens, Adeline aged up, and she got herself a cat named Viola, or Viola, I don't know. I like Viola. So, yeah. And Charlotte and Drake, they're still their vampire selves, still totally in love. Sophia has not aged up into an elder, because I wanted it to be like, oh, Sophia was, like, noticeably younger than, like, Grace, so I didn't age her up. But, yeah, there's Sophia. I originally was gonna have Sophia die. Like, anyways, she was gonna die from, like, a car crash or whatever. But then I'm like, nah, whatever. Blake now lives alone. But, like, I feel like he's very fulfilled with himself. Like, he's got his music, he's got his CEO thing, He's living his best life. And then his daughter, Aubrey Winslow, she has moved right next door, and she is basically a mob wife. Because, like, he's in the mob. Like, he's a hitman. And they're either engaged or married or dating. They're in a romantic relationship, and I find that a bit awkward. But, we do our best here. And then Diego Lobo, he's there. Our old apartment, bless. But yeah, that's basically, like, everything that's happened so far, like, in the city. What else do I need to look at? The vampires. Because the vampires, even though they were not the biggest part in this LP, they did play a part in vampires, and they did play a part in this story quite a bit. It's just, it was kind of a bit behind the scenes. So Caleb and Lilith are still there. And the Vanderwoodsens. So, in case you did not know the Vanderwoodsens' role in this LP, she aged up into a young adult, by the way. The Vanderwoodsens, they came back to town probably in, like, towards the beginning of this LP. It was, like, before part 15. It was, like, the beginnings of this LP. And then we had, like, a little, like, it was, like, a game pack. So I did, like, a mini LP of it. And it was 10 parts. And it was vampires. And it was about Charlotte and Drake. And how basically they fell in love. And, like, it was kind of like Romeo and Juliet. So, except they got their happy ending. Because let's be honest. Charlotte and Drake deserved their happy ending. But the big part behind the scenes that you did not really know was, well, you probably did know because I spent like a good 10 minutes building their altar for the devil worshipping book thing. Yeah, they had an altar for that book, and Drake stole it because he didn't want the Vanderwoodsens to use it against the Winslows. In reality, though, they knew exactly what they were doing. This book was not stolen. They let him take it. He doesn't know that. He thinks he stole it. Drake, he thinks he stole that book. He thinks he did the best thing in the world. He stole the book. He fixed the Vanderwoods and Winslow feud. That, however, was not the case. They had a plan because they knew the drama of the Winslows because it was very public knowledge. It was a big thing. And, so they assumed that Drake, when he stole the book, he'd either give it to Charlotte or Madison or somebody. And they knew that those two were the ones on the outs, the Winslows. And so it was kind of their plan all along to let somebody take the book and hopefully destroy the Winslows with it from the inside. However, that did not happen because the book was used to kill somebody that wasn't really a Winslow. Penelope was not a Winslow. Like, she had a Winslow killed, like, you know? So their plan kind of blew up in their faces, you know? They don't have the book anymore. None of the real Winslows are still dead. Sophia's alive, Grace, Charlotte, Blake, Aubrey, Luna, Addison, Claire, Madison, they're all still kicking, you know? None of the Winslows have perished since, like, legitimately Aaron. We don't count Penelope because she betrayed the family. Oh, and by the way, the book, Claire burned that book. She took it from Madison and she burned that book. She wanted it gone. That book caused nothing but chaos and death. And Claire wanted it gone, so she burned that book. So they're the Vanderwoods, and they still have their hatred for the Winslows, but it's a bit more controllable now that the Winslows are kind of aware of this, and the book is gone. So it's a bit more controllable. But Grace, no, that's Mason. Grace, she aged up into an elder. She deserved the world. Grace, she was the nicest person in this LP. She deserved the world. And she's kind of rich, and she has a cat named Clover. And yeah, so good for her. Grace, she deserved the world. And then, do we have anybody in Oasis Springs? I think we have the Calientes. Katrina is still a vampire. Dawn and Nina are pretty much together, but he's kind of seeing Katrina on the side, you know, because what else would we expect? Brooklyn Bay? No. Okay. Willow Creek. The Spencer Kim Lewis clan is kind of down a few members. But in the insane asylum, we have our patients, Madison Winslow, Serena Manning, Haley Russ, and Lydia Betancourt from Once Upon a Horror Story. This is how I'm, like, crossing it over. They take place, like, you know, in the same, like, universe, you know, in the same world, because Lydia is still in a mental hospital in Willow Creek. It just might be a slightly different mental hospital with more patients. So, yeah. And, yeah, Madison is still insane. Lydia, Serena, Haley Russ, you know, they're all still insane. And then here we have Dina Caliente. She runs the institution, and she hates children. She is gloomy, and she is insane. And she got kind of an upgrade, because, like, the last time we saw her, she was looking rough with her ugly haircut, and, like, her like, Victorian dress, you know, it wasn't the cutest thing. But now she has upgraded to scrubs. Her hair is grown out, still vampire-esque, and she's still a vampire. And then we have two doctors. We have Jimmy Hagan, and he is outgoing, active, ambitious, and wants to be fabulously wealthy. And Jensen Najira, I don't know if it's how I say his last name. I didn't make it. I kind of took a sim from the gallery. I was just looking for pretty doctors. Like, you know, pretty males. And I had two of them in my library already. So I'm like, ha, let's go. But I think I fixed their first names, because their first names were something, I don't know. But he wants to be a bodybuilder, and he is a bro. He is non-committal, and he is ambitious. And, more is going on in this asylum than what it seems. So, let's go into the asylum. This part's, apparently, I thought this part was gonna be so long, but, like, here we are, and I think we're gonna wrap it up soon. Like, not soon, because we still have to explain, like, the asylum, and we have to reflect on Madison. Oh, while this is loading, we can reflect on Charlotte. Because Charlotte and Drake, they were major players in this LP, and, you know, bless. Romeo and Juliet, Charlotte is still the smartest person in a room whenever she walks in. I think she has mastered the logic skill. And, you know, they are living their best life. They are living their best life. And, like, good for them, you know? They had the drama of vampires, and they were side characters here. But here we are in the goth mental hospital. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about the bills. So, Dina, no, I need you to quit your job. I need you to pay the bills, and then I need you to quit your job. How do I do this? Quit job. So, please pay the bills, and then you can quit your job. But yeah, Dina is still a vampire. She still walks with the creepy walk. Oh, but she's like, oh, go Dina. Go Dina. Like, she's so... with her vampireness. I need to take a picture, because, like, she's running the asylum. She is, like, Dina Caliente, let's be honest, even though it was behind the scenes, she's kind of flourished. She's turned this into an actual mental asylum instead of, like, her prison. I think Rowena put her here. Like, we, like, locked her in this mental asylum, and she's, like, banished to here. But, anyways, here we have Madison Winslow. Oh, you need to quit your job, actually. She was a director of communications, but, you know, Laugh took a hard left. Laugh took a hard left turn. So, yes, you can quit, and you can quit. Oh, that was so painful for me to do, because this is what she looks like now. You know, just basic, you know, no makeup, just got eyelashes, and, like, her pretty contacts, and she's still got a fashionable bun. And I'm pretty sure she's still in her black and white clothing. I think she is. Oh, no, she's not. That's her sleepwear. Outfits change every day. Change in your every day. She's still got her black and white color scheme. Till the day she dies, this girl will be in black and white. Bless. I'm so sorry, Madison. I'm so sorry. I've never had a character fall as far as you did. But did Madison do have any skills? She has 7 charisma, 5 in cooking. And currently, she is in a relationship with Jimmy Hagan. She is sleeping with him. No, he's not a boss at Mob Wives. He is a doctor in this insane asylum. Yeah, they're sleeping together. Jimmy Hagan. You know, I like to think that it's genuine and that she found her person. Like, finally, out of all, like, the tragedy and the trauma and the betrayal that she's been through, that she's found her man. Like, I really like to think that this is her one and only, but, you know, I've been wrong before. But yeah, they're together, the doctor and the patient in the mental asylum, so yeah. It was, like, we're in a mental asylum. This is city living. We have controversy here. And then we have, Lydia Betancourt. There are so many computers in this place. But yeah, we have Lydia Betancourt. She is still in here from Once Upon a Horror Story. If you don't know Lydia Betancourt's story, her daughter was murdered on her spring break. Was it spring break? I think it was spring break. There was a whole 10-part LP of this. Season 1 of Once Upon a Horror Story, even though there's no Season 2 as of yet. There's going to be, though. But yeah, Season 1 of Once Upon a Horror Story, Lydia Betancourt was the rich mother of the girl that got murdered. And, like, the big thing of Once Upon a Horror Story, like, the next, like, 8 or 9 parts was, like, who murdered Serenity Betancourt? And in the end, we did figure out who murdered Serenity Betancourt. I'm pretty sure they went to jail. I don't think I ever showed her in jail, but, you know, whatever. But Lydia, she kind of went insane, from the loss of her daughter. Even though they weren't very close, Lydia loved that girl. And even though Serenity was evil, like legit, the girl was evil. It was her trait. She was evil. That does not mean that her mother did not love her with all her heart. And even though the Once Upon a Horror Story cast is not in this world, because I did not want to deal with all of that. I already had enough Sims to deal with. Lydia Betancourt is still insane. And she is in this asylum. And this is the same asylum from Once Upon a Horror Story Season 1. And over here, we have Haley Russ. She wanted to be a mansion baron. She hates children. Yeah, she's all these. And, you know, she doesn't really like Madison. That's all I can say. She doesn't really like Madison. They don't get along very well. Whereas Lydia and Madison are friends, you know? And then we have Serena. She is having a romance with Jensen Najira. I was debating whether I wanted Jensen to get with Dina or Serena, because Serena is Madison's, like, asylum friend. So, hold on. Let me just bump this up to, like, 70. I want them to be good friends. They're asylum friends, you know? Like, people in prison. They build friendships or whatever. So, here we are in the asylum doing the same thing. She is apparently not having it with Blarfy, but she is sleeping with Jensen Najira. She is a party animal. She is materialistic, a dance machine, insane, and gregarious. And when putting these, like, Sims in the asylum, Lydia was just, like, she was just the other person that I had in an insane asylum. So I'm like, that'd be a nice tie-in. And, like, Dina was already here. So Haley, I kind of just, like, made a random Sim. And then Serena, I already had a Sim with, like, her base, you know? And so I just, like, took off all the makeup, like, put her in a hospital gown, you know, gave her different hair, tweaked a few features, and there she was. But, yeah, I don't know why I've never used this Sim, because this Sim is gorgeous. Like, hold on. Serena, come over here. Come over here. Like, she's really pretty, and I don't know why I've never used this Sim. Like, I honestly don't know. She was just sitting there, and I was like, Like, I'll probably use the Sim again and just give her, like, a different name, like, different, you know, just change her up a bit. But, like, I was like, never have I used the Sim, and I didn't know why. And Jimmy Hagan is quite younger than Madison. He is a young adult, and he wants to be fabulously wealthy. And I want him and Jensen to be friends, actually. So, 65. So, yeah, here he is. He is outgoing, active, ambitious, and business savvy. And, you know, he's like a sweetheart. He's like a sweetheart, but he's also a bro, you know, whatever. And then we have Jensen Najira. I feel like I pronounce the J in his name different every time I say it. I need the walls to be down. Oh, this is like a... Oh god, it looks like... I don't even know, it's creepy. But here's Jensen Najira. He's very pretty. He is a bro, non-committable, ambitious, a high metabolism. He wants to be a bodybuilder, and, you know, he is in a relationship with Serena, and he's friends with Jimmy Hagan. And they're kind of not really... His eyes, I feel like they look like they point in a different direction. Like, different directions, but I honestly feel like that's just me. And maybe, like, the way his eyes are set or whatever. He just looks like his eyes are pointing in different directions. And I don't know why. But Jimmy and Jensen, they're kind of like, I guess, Dina's kind of servants. Like, you know? Like, I never knew, like when I was making the Insane Asylum, I never knew, like, what their, like, why they were there and, like, what their relationship with Dina Caliente was and how she got them to stay in this insane asylum as doctors, and they're not even really doctors. But, you know, I feel like it's some vampiric thing, you know. She keeps them here. But Dina, good for her. She still hates Rowena. She does not like Aurora. She does not like Haley. She does not like Lydia. She does not like Serena at all. She's kind of okay with Madison. Yeah. But Madison, bless. This poor girl. She had fallen so far. Watch the entire LP and you will see she rose and she fell in 45 episodes, and I don't know how I did it, because, like, you know, she was kind of on top of the world in her mind. In everybody else's mind, she was kind of not. I want to get a nice, like, picture of, like, her just, like, crazy smiling. Aw, she kind of looks cute here. Aw, that's cute. We're gonna end on this, because, you know, bless. Oh my god. Okay, so, Perfect. Now we just have to reflect on Madison with her Madison-ness. So she went through a lot of rough times. She didn't like Anaya. I'm pretty sure she fought Navi Chase. What else? Her relationships with Blake and Charlotte haven't really changed. She doesn't like Aubrey. She doesn't like Brandon. She doesn't like Katrina. She doesn't like Miko. She doesn't like Victor. She really still hates Sophia. She's not the best with Akira. She hates Penelope. And Penelope should show up as a ghost. I don't know why she's not, because we saw her die. Her relationship with her daughter is still not well, but I hope, like, at some point it will be better. But, Madison, she just had a rough time, but, oh my god. But, she's Madison. She is gone from basically the lives of everybody, but she is not forgotten. And, she's fallen, and I hope that eventually at one point she does find a way to get back up and, like, retake her life, but for the near future, she's stuck in a mental asylum. And, like, it's honestly not the worst thing for her at this moment. I feel like prison would be worse. But, like, the asylum, she's sleeping with basically, I guess, an orderly. Is that what they're called? I think an orderly. She has a friend, It's not the worst thing in the world, They seem to be given free roam. Dina really isn't running a tight ship here. They're basically all just chilling. Dina, I feel like she doesn't really care. She just, I feel like Dina, the only reason she probably, like, built this into, like, a regular mental asylum was, I feel like she was honestly just kind of lonely. And, here she has her mental patients, she has her doctors. And, honestly, I felt so emotional, like adjusting the Sims to their lives now, like 1 year later, trying to show, like, a difference in time, how Claire and Luna moved on, how Madison is adjusting to the asylum, and here we are 1 year later, and nobody broke. Nobody, like, they still have found a way to keep on going, and I think that's the one thing that is, like, my proudest thing of Madison. Like, no matter what, if the chips are down, no matter what life throws against her, she just kind of keeps going. And even though she might be certifiably insane, I love her with all my heart. And Madison, if I had to show the rise and fall of, like, a hero or a main character, I'm glad it was you, because we saw Madison at her best times, and we've seen her at her worst times, and she still comes out the other end. And so I think that is a good way to end City Living. It's been a ride. It's been long, and it's been kind of tedious at times, but honestly, it's all kind of worth it for this, So, I'm not getting emotional. So, that is going to be all for now, and I will see you guys in the next LP, or in the next, I can't say in the next episode, because there's not going to be another next episode of City Living. I'll see you guys later. So, that is me all for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!